Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, new investment strategies era is here. You guys already know about it. AI, your content, ownership, assets, all of that. We got to talk about this, ladies and gentlemen. No longer are you going to continue to give away your valuable information and content. Something to think about. Ownership should be number one or number two on your list. And I don't mean ownership of liabilities. Let's get it straight. You can own a house, but do you really own it? Because if you don't pay your property taxes and if you don't have insurance and something happens to your house, you will not be covered. And either way, it's gone if disaster strikes. So do you really own it? Because you're still gonna pay property tax even if the house is not there because land is rented. Just so you understand. And welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Stop struggling now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. Please share the videos because you never know who's out here looking for information that they don't even know they need. And there's people out here looking for information that they know they need, but they can't find the source because there's always the gatekeepers in the house. Gatekeepers do different things. I'm sitting over here at the NAB show in Las Vegas we've been attending, going to the last few days. The reason there's gatekeepers is because the price of entry is astronomical. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Backdoor moves sometimes need to be made unless you have a few $100,000 you're willing to take a high risk on, then you can't get in. So that means when I'm doing this live stream right now, I am on several different platforms. But the ownership part is the platforms. They make money, add money. And by the way, has anybody seen? Let me know if you saw the trailer today. So far, we haven't been able to get that trailer activity going on yet. Nobody says they've seen the activities. Comment sections are open everywhere. Let me know if you've seen the trailer. Now, you will know it's the trailer. It's different. It's special. It's cool. But the point I'm trying to make is I'm out here on live stream right now. YouTube gets to make money. Sure, there's some sort of split for AdSense, but let's just get real. A 60-40, 30-70 in Google's favor. That's right. They're the ones that get the higher percentage. I shouldn't say that. Actually, we get the higher percentage. They get the lower. But 30% is hefty. Just saying. 40% is hefty. And the content is valuable because it brings in more people. So now those ads you see, they get to charge more because now they have more subscribers, or you have more subscribers. If you're on YouTube, every subscriber, every new eyeball that comes here is a calculation based on them making more money from your hard work and effort. Now, sure, if you have the silver button, gold buttons, and all that, and you have a lot of followers, a lot of streams, and things of this nature, you can make a nice living doing this. But that's not the bulk of people. But the millions of people that have YouTube channels, and they have people that are on YouTube watching right now, that is valuable for Google. That's why they bought YouTube. Because advertisers can advertise to each and every person that watches a video. So if the video gets 50 views, so what? Another video gets 1,000. So what? Another one gets 5,000. Another one gets 100,000. Another one gets 500,000. Every one of them they get to monetize. And you don't own it. The subscribers who are watching this show right now, you belong to YouTube. YouTube can block me any day of the week. They can demonetize me any day of the week. They've done that. For 2 years, I was demonetized. And one day I woke up and it says, you're monetized again. I don't know what changed. But nonetheless. So all of these things means if you are canceled, you own nothing. So from this point on, not only do we have our 3 years is coming up December 31st, where you're going to need 775 credit score. You got to get close. If you can't get there, at least strive for it. Improve your credit score. There's a reason. You want that 0% interest for 36 months. It's not out yet. We probably have another 4 months to go. We're going to find out if my prediction is correct. This is 2026, ladies and gentlemen, April 22nd. So August, September, we should be seeing 0% for 36 months. I want you to be able to attack. Join in the fun, because that way you can actually clear debt off the table even more. If you're paying 99.5% of all money's going towards that, if not 100, goes towards your principal. Yes, there's 21 months out now. Yes, there's 24, 16, 15, 9, 12 months. But that 0 for 36, the elusive one, I believe there's going to be a credit crunch. So therefore you can take advantage. So this is why you need the 775 credit score. Second form, in case you're new here, you need bank account outside of the United States, or an account outside of the United States. If you missed the Bankus video that we did last Monday, we talked about Bankus. When you download the crypto, that's outside of the United States jurisdiction, onto your Bankus debit, crypto debit card, it's outside the USA jurisdiction. That is the point. Bank account outside the US territory even. Puerto Rico doesn't count. US Virgin Islands does not count as overseas. It needs to be another sovereign country. That's the point I'm trying to make. You own it. You keep it. You make sure. This is why you make LLCs, corporations, trust. All these things is once you have the assets, you want to protect the assets. Just think about that. I invite everybody watching this right now. Why don't you go find out what happens if Medicare does not cover procedures or all of the procedure? Where are they going to go to try and get the money? You own a house, you own several, you own cars, boats, planes, trains, all this stuff. Those are assets. They could come looking for it. Go Google it. Now, part of ownership means you have to protect your ownership. So let's get into this AI situation that we're talking about tonight. Everybody who's watching, smash that live stream like button. Post-retirement travel, Mr. Worldwide 2 is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he brings a tagline along with him, and investors here overseas. He's doing the SSN Nation plan. He's done it all. Bank accounts outside the U.S., real estate outside of the U.S. Business outside of the US. Credit score rising. Cash flow, debt low. Looks like he's on the way to a successful retirement, unobstructed, no matter what happens with the economy. That's how we want you to be, ladies and gentlemen. He brings his tagline this evening. Hello, all. Let's do this. And I humbly appreciate the icon next to his name, which means he's a member of the channel. And if you'd like to become a member of the channel, please do so. All right. How about that stock market? Please give me some L's. Can't take these many consecutive W's. Ladies and gentlemen, we tried to tell you. That's why we always talked about you can take advantage. You know what an asset is? An asset looks something like you can make money because you have a skill set is an asset. So when we were talking about stock market trading for, I don't know, the last like year, seems like now, investing in dividends, getting passive income, but stock market trading is hard. That's why I have the Candlestick Trading Bible PDF ready for you in the description, in the comment section. You can download it, save it onto your hard drive, your device. You can always go over it. It's 168 pages. If you haven't started stock market trading, shame on you. We know there's going to be W's and a lot of them. And when you can trade, you can win when the market goes down and when the market goes up. Now, part of this, I'm going to sidetrack here for a second because that is part of ownership. You now own your life because you can make money without checking in at a job, without somebody saying, hey, you need mandatory overtime right now. So come on in. No, no, no. Those days are over, ladies and gentlemen. So back to the ownership part. Own your time. Think about it. It's nothing more valuable than that. Because when you own your time, you have sometimes peace of mind. You can come and go when you please. You can wake up whenever you want to. You can do whatever you want. And whenever you can think about that. A lot of people don't understand how it feels where you could just wake up and be like, well, I don't feel like waking up today. I don't feel like getting out of bed today. I'll stay in bed and play around on the internet or something. I don't know. I don't feel like going to bed early. I'll just stay up and watch some show I haven't seen for the next 3 hours. Binge watch. You can do whatever you want because you know you have passive income coming in, or you know you can make more money, or you own an asset that pays you passively. We'll get into that shortly. We're getting there, ladies and gentlemen. Just stay tuned. This isn't going to be a long live stream. Just remember, tell your friends because it's a new investment era. AI is here. Nobody should be missing out on this. Asking a question on simple AI, like you can have Google and you can put it in AI mode. It's free. You can have Microsoft, put it in Copilot mode. It'll be free for a minute. All of them give you long enough freebie stuff. You got to get to the point though. Whatever question you ask, you make sure you put as much details into it. And if you're thinking, well, I'll just ask this question, then I can ask another question later. No, just put it all in the one question, what you're trying to do. If you're trying to create images, just put it in there. And by the way, have you guys seen the new images? I've been using, obviously, AI. Just saying. All right? Just saying. It can get deeper than that. Trust me, it can get a lot deeper. You guys have seen these fakes on TV already, on social media. You almost can't tell when they're using someone's image if it's actually them or not because the voice is almost similar. The way they look is similar. The movements are similar. That's because the person who put in the information and said, this is what I want, was very detailed, uploaded pictures. So therefore, it's mimicking the pictures. That's why they look real close. That's where we're going. You better get in the game because it's almost game over and you better figure out how you're going to control assets. Or are you going to be the geek the guy that actually makes this and then has everybody else with the axes, the picks, and the shovels buying and paying for it? That's the multi-million dollar question, right? They're going to be sitting on the sidelines while others are taking risks. They're going to sell the software. This is what the NAB show's doing. Got all these people with all kind of software, electronics, the AIs, everything. The people that want to get into this and use it at a higher level to make money, they're getting charged. This is not cheap. Like I said, you got a few 100,000 sitting around, you're going to be in the game and you're going to be ahead of a lot of people. So ownership will matter. So now all the people watching this who says, well, you post on social media, those companies that we post on, the Facebooks, the Twitters, X, Instagram, all of those are making money from your information. And it's not your information. It's your pictures. It's your videos. It's things that you forward in. Remember, subscribers matter. Not to so much to individuals here on social media platforms. It matters to the owners of the platforms because they get to say, looky here, we have 20 million people. 20 million people that you can advertise to, that we can put a little 15-second or 30-second commercial for you. How much is that worth? And the content isn't even theirs. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, you might want to start thinking about ownership of everything as you're just frittering away. So what if you had your own platform? Think about that you're posting up and you had members and all of a sudden you go, well, I have 3,000, 3 million, 5 million people on this platform. Well, guess what starts happening? People will call you up from advertising companies and say, hey, how much, what's the rate you have? And now all of a sudden, and imagine you having people post up and posting videos and doing live streams and podcasts. And you get to sit there and say, I own this. And they say, well, we're going to cut you a check for whatever, 30 G's, 100 G's, 500 G's. Think about it. Just think about it. All right. Now, the Candlestick Trading Bible is stock market trading. If you don't know how to do it, I suggest you learn, because that's going to be the last bastion that a person could actually always deal with, because we have London, we have Australia, we have the Asian markets. Markets are around the world. The USA market's number one. But just keep in mind, once you learn how to trade, you're going to be doing the salsa dance like post-retirement travel's been doing. You know what I'm saying? Stock market's winning. It's going up. You're winning. All it takes now is somebody to say something crazy. We're bombing somebody. Stock market overnight starts dropping. You could make money from that. Don't get left behind, ladies and gentlemen. And therefore, I got to talk about the CoinX, because stock market trading, whenever we get into that, CoinX is who I use as a broker. They're not fancy. MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, they are not on TradingView. The reason why? Because they are not in the United States and they are not on the plantation of being regulated. Because not being regulated means your information, when you sign up, does not go to the United States government. They're outside of the United States and they use crypto. And when you send money out, where do you want your crypto to go to? Asking for a friend. A broke country's regulators who's going to say, hey, he downloaded $20,000 in the last month. Why aren't we taxing his ass? Because we're broke. Meanwhile, CoinX, which you guys can get down below in the chat rooms. Omar the Creative, I see you in the house. Speaking of creative, we're getting there. We're going to get to the creative. I'm going to have something new. I'm just going to tell you guys right now. I'm probably It depends on the conversation I'm going to have on Friday. And actually, I'm going to try to get the person on because this ownership thing is going to be something we're going to talk about. Because I'm sitting there at this show and they started telling me, "Hey, Eric, do you have an app?" I was like, "An app for what?" They're like, "App. You're on social media platforms." I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Well, why don't you just have your own Netflix?" I was like, "Wait a minute. What you got on the screen? Show me something." They started showing me something. Actually, hold on. It's not story night. I don't want to get sidetracked. Hold on. We got more to talk about. Hold on. Get your CoinX. The reason why is because when they download, it's outside the United States jurisdiction. It can go to my Bankus card. Just saying. All right? Bankus is outside the United States once again. And if you have crypto and you make money, then you send it to your Bankus plastic card. It costs you $50. It's a debit card with the Visa MasterCard logo. Or you, hold on a second, I got something going on. And I lost my train of thought too. Crazy. All right. Anyhow, with Bankus, it's outside the United States. Once again, Mexico City. They don't buy and sell crypto. Therefore, it's a different regulatory situation. You're just sending it to add money to your card. So if you make money with crypto, sure, you can send it to crypto.com. You can have it on Robinhood. You can do all that. But again, I want to be outside the jurisdiction of the United States because they're going to do a money grab. And by the way, oh my, Chase Bank started grabbing people's money last week. Just saying. It's like that. I kept trying to tell you guys. I kept trying to tell you. It's not like this has been going on for a long time in America. All right. I told you guys the stories a long time ago when I've been on here. People still are in denial. Still in denial. I'm just saying, protect yourselves out here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Brian P., Mr. Dividends in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Very happy to see you once again. And he brings a simple tagline this evening. Mr. Dividend says, hello, all. I love it. Hello, all. All right, Bankus, down below in the description boxes, in the chat rooms. Get that card. You can actually make money, your own business once again, ownership. You can refer other people. Yes, you can get paid. I won't get into that. You can check out the Zoom call tomorrow on Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern. No, I do not host it. It's members, people that are in Bankus, and it's actually the guy that runs it, Al Aaron. He actually is part of the Bankus team in Mexico City. They answer questions. What more can you ask for? And then on on Friday, there'll be normally is it Friday or Sunday? I can't really remember. Friday or Saturday, they will do another training because you can make money from this by referring people and when people upload. So therefore, this could end up being a long-term ownership plan. Just saying. I'm down with that. So I share. And if you like to send money outside the United States or any country for that matter, another person that has Bankus, you can send bank to bank, Bankus to Bankus member for no cost. Just so you know. Now, I also, speaking of ownership, anybody paying attention to crypto, it's creeping up close to 80. It was 65. Did you take advantage? It was 70. Did you take advantage? Now it's 78, 79. By the way, those who know how to trade could have taken advantage while it rose on the stock market and by having ownership of Bitcoin. Like we said for 2.5 years, BTC, ETH. Those are the two. No more high risk, high rewards. Although I did high risk one with a couple of $100, $217, Prime Wealth Advisors. Now, I haven't withdrawn yet. We should be up to $100 either. If it's not this week, it's next week. Today's Wednesday. I haven't even checked. But we should be there. I'm going to see about downloading it and make sure, but I'm not telling anybody to get in. I've removed the videos. I've done all that. I'm just giving you guys a heads up. Now, Bankus, once again, person to person, no cost. So a person, as long as they have Bankus, they have virtual cards. So now a person, you can send them, it's it's just basically USDT, right? You're just sending them. So if it's for $100, they get it in their Bankus account within a minute, no matter where they are in the world. And then they can use their virtual card, their plastic or metal card, go to the ATM machine with the real card in hand and withdraw it, or use it at the store or whatever. But the point is, it's very, very powerful because there's a lot of the world that doesn't have bank access. So now this gives them a way where they can receive and send money, and if they make money with crypto, they can actually have a way to use it. So that's why Bankus is important. The other thing we've talked about, 4 or 5 years ago, Unstoppable Domain. Unstoppable Domain, that's a crypto Web3 name. So stopstrugglingnow.crypto, check. ssnlifestyle.crypto, check. Have you seen a trailer? Let me know in the comment section. All right? Come on. They got to show it sooner or later again. They haven't allowed that. That's weird. But ssnlifestyle.crypto, ericbird.crypto, stopstrugglingnow.nft. Just saying. So now, if you're going to send me any crypto, the top 400 cryptos, all I have to do is say ericbird.crypto, stopstrugglingnow.crypto, any one of those. You're not going to have my alphanumeric characters until you do a transaction ID. But that doesn't matter. I don't have to give you the alphanumeric characters is the point. I don't have to send you, hey man, check out this string of alphanumeric characters and make sure you send it to that. No, you just simply do stopstrugglingnow.crypto or stopstrugglingnow.nft. Have all of that because that's ownership, ladies and gentlemen. And by having ownership of that, now it's on the blockchain. This is not an ISP. This isn't some YouTube channel or Instagram or Facebook. They can't take it down. It's on the blockchain. And you can actually make a few web pages, 2, 3, just saying right now, until they figure out how to do compressions all over the place. But nonetheless, so now you're understanding where the power is. So get it now. I put a link in the chat room already. No matter where you're watching from, whether it's Twitch, whether it's Facebook, all you guys have this stuff. I'm going to put it twice on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook, Instagram, everybody, all over the place. The podcast guys, well, you guys are just, you're just going to have to put Unstoppable Domain in there and just say SS Stop Struggling Now sent me or whatever. I don't know. Because they do have referral links. That's right. That's a referral link I'm giving you. Brian P. No, I have not checked my email. I got the notification and saw the trailer. Oh my, you're the first one that's seen the trailer in 2 months. Thank you so much for letting me know you saw the SSN lifestyle, ladies and gentlemen. Brian P., I appreciate it. Happy day, Eric. Thank you. Happy day with you, hopefully, as well. Brian P., I hope the family is well. No, I don't know. I told everybody on Monday, another postponement. My aunt has to go to surgery on Friday. That is, postponement was Friday. What's the other one? It was Friday, Wednesday, Friday, and now, no, Friday, Monday, Friday, then that postponed to Monday. Now we're supposed to be in surgery on Friday. That's what they're doing out here, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Family's not well. I'm not happy about this. This is bad business. Once again, you're going to need to protect yourself once you have these assets. Hello, SSN fam. Thank you so much. And by the way, thank you for sending me some information, because you know when Brian P shows up, not only is he stock market trading by getting the name Mr. Dividends, clearly, but he's sending me this information regarding recalls. It's out here. Your government is killing you, ladies and gentlemen. It's incredible what they're out here doing. And so Brian P is nice enough to send me, oh, the bad news. It's just like, I can't even believe it. And there's no way people know about this. So every now and then when we do our live streams, we let people know. Now, let's keep moving, because we got a lot to talk about, I'm sure, because I'm sure there are people here that's sitting there going, AI. Ladies and gentlemen, do not be afraid. Oh, by the way, I don't know what these guys are doing. You know, Tony Robbins and Dean Grazioli or whatever his name is. Do you know these guys? They are marketers. They're infotainment. They are doing a free 3-day AI project starting tomorrow. Open to the public. It's on the internet, obviously. I mean, even I have to say, let me maybe check it out. Because ownership is going to be key in the future. It's already key right now, but as jobs are lost due to AI and information, then what does that leave? Where do you go from there if you're not a plumber or air conditioning person, a roofer, or rehab abilities for homes? Where's this going to leave you? Because you can ask AI anything right now and get the answers. You don't even need an attorney. I'm just saying. This is how wild this is. That's right, Eric. I'm always buying a daily cup of coffee with BTC and Ethereum, loving the trend. Exactly. We know where the trend's going, ladies and gentlemen. We've been talking about this for years, haven't we, post-retirement travel? Even when you had the other moniker, we were talking about, this has been about 2-3 years back, 4 years, 3 years back for sure. And by the way, I hate to keep bragging about this, but I just want to ask people something. 2 years and what is it now? 2 years and 5 months ago, if somebody told you the SSN Nation thing to do, get your credit score to 775, get real estate, or have a business outside the USA jurisdiction, right? If somebody would have told you those things, you'd have been like, have a bank account outside the US. 2 years, 5 months ago, you might have thought somebody was crazy. How would the guy know that there's going to be a problem? It's not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. But you better get your stuff in order. Just saying. And that daily cup of coffee that post-retirement travel's been talking about for like 5 years, please take heed. Nick say those lunches, that little lunch you just spent $20 on, $25 at work, you could have just said, let me have $25 worth of BTC or Ethereum. Because back then, it was 45,000, 30,000, 50,000. So your portfolio would have grown 20, 30, 40% or more. Just keep that in mind, because the United States and other countries, well, mainly US, they are going to have to figure out this petrodollar situation. You're going to be in the crossfires because printing more money causes inflation. I told you guys this ever since I've been on this channel. And now everybody, you're seeing the results of, let's just call it from, it doesn't really matter, starting from 2000 and going from 2000 to 2026. every, okay, I'm getting into politics. Every GOP person has done tax cut, tax breaks, created a deficit. Don't try to pay it down. Obama, 8 years, pays it down. Biden pays it down. But those two 16-year, 8 years for Bush, 8 years for Trump, that is very costly. And so, therefore, you're going to have inflation because they had to print more money, a lot of it. And it didn't help that the pandemic came in where for 2 years, Trump had to print money for one, Biden had to print money for about a year and a half, too. There's a difference. Because it was at the end of Trump's first term, he had no way to pay it down. So Biden had a way to pay down the deficit because he had more runway. But in the second term, Trump is not trying to pay down the deficit. So we would have still had this scenario. And it keeps happening. That is hurting you. This is why you need ownership. This is why the Billionaire Boys Club that owns these platforms, that owns corporations, are running to the White House because they want more ownership so things can't be taken away from them. And they don't care about monopolies. So therefore, you have the playbook. You should start thinking about it. Please let me know what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Brian P. says, Eric, have you seen the emails? Man, I've seen a lot of the emails. And all I could do was just shake my head. I was just like, man, I can't believe this. I mean, it's all over the map. Let me go check something right now because I want to find the one about, yeah, Chase of all people. People are missing money out of their accounts. I was like, oh, this is bad. This is bad. The world's largest bank. Or is it? Okay. Here we go. Office of Public Affairs, federal grand jury charges Southern Poverty Law Center for wire fraud, false statements, and conspiracy. How did I know that was good? You guys, this is how the DOJ operates. They do this stuff. They go, oh yeah, it's wire fraud. It's false. It's fraud. And I'm sitting there like, so when a president of a country sends in fraudulent information to get loans, you go, no big deal. That's not wire fraud. That's no fraud at all. But you're going to have the Poverty Law Center, which actually helps Americans, citizens. Now they got wire fraud, false statements. Like, you mean like you put in a mortgage application that your place is like 10 times bigger than it is, the square footage? Yeah, that's a false statement. But you guys said that was lawfare. Now it's not lawfare, I guess. All right, casino operator adds closures after bankruptcy filing. Here we go. Now look, you know when gambling starts filing bankruptcy, it's bad news, ladies and gentlemen. This is funny stuff. Not really funny because now I'm pretty sure there's going to be a few hundred people to 1,000 that's going to be out of a job with no way to get a potentially livable wage job. That's just dangerous. And I'm waiting for this Las Vegas to actually start closing. Oh, wait, wait. Casino operator closes locations after bankruptcy filing. The company has added another casino shutdown across this Las Vegas, Washington, and Colorado locations following its Chapter 11. How come they never just give us the name? Every game in the casino is designed to give the casino. This is known as the house. Which which casino? They don't even. They should have had the name of the casino in the first. So losing operating a casino, you basically need to not be able to attract enough customers to cover your overhead. Maverick Gaming, which owns and operates a portfolio of 27 properties across Nevada, Washington, and Colorado, with a total of 1,800 slot machines, 350 tables, 1,020 hotel rooms, 30 restaurants, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. This is old. It says in July. So that was, oh, okay. It was in July. Wow. July 14th, 2025. Wow. They're on the S. No. They're on the S&P? No. They get free money? How the heck do you F that up? Ladies and gentlemen, stocks are ownership. That's why they own stocks, because they have a value, right? Just remember, derivatives. The guy has, let's just say, 100 shares of stock. Each stock is $1,000. Maybe they have a Berkshire Hathaway. They're $1,000. So he has $100,000. You can go to any place, any brokerage account, and get a loan. You can get a loan from a bank or anybody if you pledge those shares and then you said, hey, I need 25 G's or 30 G's, just a normal person. But if you are in the multiple millions, then you go, hey, I can I get $1 million based on the share price today? You go, yes, no problem. You have $30 million, 30 million shares. We need about 5 million pledge. That'll give us 20%. We're good. Okay. Don't need any money. So, wow. They could actually print money out of thin air. They're on the S&P and they still file bankruptcy. That's insane. It's Chapter 11 though. So that means they're trying to renegotiate some debt. Let's just call it what it is. Oh no. Not generic. We got a fire risk, ladies and gentlemen. There's going to be a lot of people that's going to need these generators. And one of the well-known generators has fire risk. So I'm going to have to put this in the chat. Generac recalls portable generators sold at Costco over fire risk. A defect could lead to gasoline leak, fire risk. That's crazy. GP 9200 generator 2025 and February 2026. Oof. Generic power system said to Costco members the affected serial numbers range from 30167866070 to 30167888388. Whoa, that's over 2,000. That's 2,800. The issue stems from the generator's carburetor, which may leak fuel when the unit is first filled with gasoline. Yeah, that's the risk. That's not good. Wow, they're supposedly one of the better generators. So I'm going to put that down here as well in the chat rooms. If you watch this on replay, make sure, whatever you do, just if you're watching on mobile and live now, it just showed up today. If you're watching on either platform, you have to tap the top to open up the live. And not all the time, but it showed up on regular desktop, laptop yesterday for me. And on the mobile, it has already showed up a long time ago where you have to hit the top comment and then scroll left or scroll right, and a message will come up saying, do you want to see the live chat? And you actually have to activate it by pushing on it. Yes, we got to the emails. As you know, you're still here in the house because ownership is key. Stock ownership is ownership. Bitcoin, Ethereum ownership is ownership. Paintings that go up in value is ownership. Just think about that, all right? Again, if somebody tells me, Eric, I own my home, no, you don't. You cannot get away without paying property taxes. You're renting, no matter how you slice it. Yes, you owned. Well, it's a It's a theoretical, mythological thing because the rich guys get to print. That fuels the banking industry, the mortgage industry, that gets people to be able to buy shares, that gets corporations to be able to buy real estate, turn it into a real estate investment trust. All these things make the flow of money for the wealthy. You can be wealthy. You just have to figure out what assets are you going to own. Own is the key word. And assets pay you here. That's what SSN Nation, we don't talk the BS. Assets pay you. Don't let anybody fool you. If you're sitting out here and you go, well, I have an asset. And if you say I have an asset and it doesn't pay you, now you have to look a little like, eh. Shout out to my boys that do the gold and silver stacking, right? Because it doesn't pay you. So it's an asset. No, it's a hedge against inflation for the future. But we just found out in real time in the last 6 months what happens. It happened. People that's been stackers, they went down. And they said, oh my, I bought this for $25 an ounce for silver 2 years ago. It's 105. Oh my God. I can make all this money. I think I need to sell it. Hold up, young man, young lady. Hold on. Who's going to buy it? Wait, the coin shop says, hold on, I've bought enough of it. Because when it started going to 50, 60, 70, all the people that bought it $10 7 or 8 years ago an ounce, they were selling. They were like, I'll take that 10x. So they were buying up at 70, 60. So then when it got to 100, the people that could buy it, which are basically the coin shops, that's it. It's not like you have a huge buyer pool. Now all of a sudden they're going, hold on, we're not buying now. It's over. Locked out of the game. I told the people this was going to happen because you have history of this. Some people were very happy. They were able to sell. Others got locked out as the price kept going higher. The coin dealers were like, hold on, man, we can't buy anymore. And even if we're not, because we don't believe that's the value. Can you believe that? 115? We don't believe that's the value. We're not going to buy. Oh, yes. Don't forget, assets pay you, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. It's plain and simple. No okie doke stuff out here. All right? That is crazy. S&P on fire. MDA 0214. He's doing the salsa dance as well. He's saying he's taking advantage. I know he's taking advantage, ladies and gentlemen, because this is too easy. Now, I have to admit, I was not taking advantage. I was at NAB show. Can't take advantage. I wasn't walking around with my phone. I'm looking at some stuff that's going to be the future. Some of it's happening right now. But when I saw what these guys are capable of doing, I'm sitting here like, are you kidding me right now? They're already doing it. It's hardware and software. But right now it's not in mainstream. So these guys are spending millions of dollars to create just what you're seeing, AI. That turns into videos. That turns into entertainment. That turns into whatever you want that has to deal with content. So that means they have a head start. I was with Zero Density 2 days ago. What I saw what Zero Density does is what you see with TV shows right now. The problem is not a problem for you. They're selling their equipment 70,000, 90,000, 100,000, and that is their hardware and software. You still need the 10 to 20 to $30,000 cameras. You still need a studio. So nobody can just show up and do this unless you have money. The guys with the money get the ownership because they are able to produce things that you and I can't produce right now. They're able to be on Netflix. They're able to be on whatever app their ownership of what they're producing can get on, which now means they have revenue streams and lots of it. But ordinary citizens, guess what? Here's the kicker. Guess what jobs that's creating? You better know how to use the software. You better have studied because the even the rich guys, no matter how you slice it, they need the tech guys that can run the hardware, fix the software when it goes awire because they just drop it off, do some training, and of course you can always call up the company like Zero Density, for instance. I'll use them since I said it. And they have it because you bought stuff for $200,000 and they trained your crew. And then they said, bye bye, have a nice life. But we have something you can always call. You can always, we're going to help you out. But now they're not there. They're gone. So now guess what? Somebody better know how to run the zero density software and fix the hardware if there's little snafus. That's where the high paying jobs are going to be. That means you got to study, you got to learn. But Zero Density is not the only company. And their software may be different than EVS's software or LiveView software. And they are different. They're running different engines. So that means somebody's going to have to learn that software for each and every one of these companies. And don't forget, studios are out here using that software. And don't get me wrong, people don't understand. You've heard of Universal and WB and Paramount and all that, right? Studios. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a studio, yes. But there's other studios. People have warehouses and they create a studio there. They spend $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 to get equipment. Since they have the equipment, now somebody wants to do some production. They now can charge people rental fees. And these rental fees could be like 5, 6, 7, 10 G's a day. Just so you guys understand. Ownership matters. So this is why I had to break out this video today, because this is a new investment era, because ownership costs money and they're going to make sure. So MDA0214, once again, welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. I know you're doing the salsa dance. I know you had to come in and let us know. And again, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's a skill set is an asset because he knows something. He's done it. He studies. Those are all assets. This is a new era. Your content could be you. Your assets, you need to make sure pay you. Ownership is the key. So like right now, I don't have ownership. I have ownership of the videos, right? But I don't have ownership of you. You're a member of the channel, like post-retirement travel with the icon next to his name. I don't own that. You pay Google. Google gives me a piece of it. That's how this works. They still have you who's watching this, wherever platform you're watching it from. You are their customer, not mine. Sure, I can say use the link in the chat room. Sure, down below in the chat room, down below in the description, go check it out. Hey, we have merch at Stop Struggling Now. We have affiliate links and all that. We have a sponsor or advertiser that says, here's some money. Great. But if I walk away and I don't have any way to produce this on another platform, they keep all members and subscribers are on their platform. You're not on my platform. Hint, not yet. All right, let's go. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. There's something coming out. I'm just going to let you guys know right now. There's something coming out that I'm working on that looks like ownership to me. And I'm gonna do what we did before. SSN Lifestyle is coming back, and there's several other things. SSN Lifestyle is coming back. We have a membership. It was a program that was supposed to be like a, what do you call that? The Shark Tank, where we would have investments, and we had investments in crypto, all crash and burn stuff because those crypto platforms all crashed and burned. That's what they did. I mean, there's tons of them. We all put in a little bit money you can afford to lose type of thing. Not one of them worked out. The debt box, the cash flows NFTs, the 3% a month or whatever it was, crypto projects. I'm missing the one with the H. What was that? Herzog. I can't remember. Oh man, the drip programs. But that one we didn't do this Shark Tank one for. But whichever one we did, it did not matter. All the crypto projects did just what they always do: fail. Neighbors fail. Everything fail. But again, ownership, no ownership. We didn't control it. We're going through somebody else. So once again, the revival of SSN Lifestyle Membership Program is twice, because now guess what happened? In case you guys don't understand, I bought at Larimar City and Resort. You guys know, who's been longtime listeners and watchers. Bought at Larimar City, and I have SSN Lifestyle SRL in the Dominican Republic, which is a company there. That company was designed for real estate brokers doing things. So I had to put it on the shelf because all these guys been late. All these projects were late, and it was going to be based on membership, meant that a person could go and stay for like a week. It's almost, I have to admit, like a timeshare, except twist. Because of course I always like to F up some stuff. So what I was doing was, which I'm going to revive, by the way, because I'm going to tell you right now, Larimar just told me, everybody that owns at Larimar City and Resort, if you stop making payments, basically what they're doing is they don't care. They're charging you whatever you paid. It is paid. Then they're charging you interest. All right. So if you say you want a refund, they come to you and go, "Oh, we're going to give you a refund," allegedly. And here's how that works, just like everybody's going to know right now. You say you want a refund, they go, "Okay." Let's say you put in whatever, $20,000, but now you have late fees of, let's call it 1,500. So then you would go, "Oh, I'll take 17.5." Okay. But now they come up with some other stuff. "Oh, wait, we had to pay out some commissions." So, and that was like 6 G's or whatever. So we're going to take that 6 G's off too, even though they're not going to pay you until they resell the unit, which means your refund comes who knows when. Whenever they build the project, whenever the person pays off whatever. So you're not getting a refund anytime soon. And you're going to lose tons of money. But get this. If you don't do anything and just stay in, and then you decide to, buy when it's delivery, they waive the late fees. And we're all good. Now, I have to say, that means the revival of the SSN Lifestyle Membership Program. There's a couple of people that has actually membership. And here's the difference. You guys know what timeshares are. You get a limited, let's say a week, and you pay some stupid number, $25,000. And then every year you pay a maintenance fee that rises. It could start off at like $850, and then a year later it's $900, and 3 years later it's $1,050. And the availability is not there unless you have a fixed week. So what I was going to do, and still am, because I'm going to revive this since I know I'm going to have the Larimar timeshare now, and I know it can't be delivered anytime soon for another 2 years. So I will implement my in Lifestyle SRL to sell our package on the island. Here's the difference. Because of it's actually to make money, it's not really for that. There's only going to be like 13, 12 people that could actually use a week. So 12 weeks a year, people can stay there. The other time frame, SSN Lifestyle makes money because we're renting it out. Now, that means there's other features, but the point I'm going to make right now is nobody has an annual fee. What do I mean by that? The only way you pay an annual fee is if you use it. Yeah, I'm about to upset the game, but that's how I'm going to do it. So if you go, hey, I'm not going to DR this year, okay, fine. You don't have to pay an annual fee. You will have to pay whatever the membership is. I mean, it might be like $150 or something, $200. I can't remember the numbers, but the point is, it's a small amount. Obviously, you're a membership. So the point is, no, you're not paying $1,000. Let's say it costs $1,000 for the week, right? You don't have to do anything. You just don't pay. You didn't use it, you don't lose it. You didn't pay. You're not paying for something you're not using. So if you get your reservation, you pay then the annual fee for the upkeep, maintenance, all this. We have to get paid that somewhat, right? The other time, it's basically for SSN Lifestyle stuff. Now, here's the problem with Larimar, which is not a problem. I'm just going to bypass it. But the Larimar started coming up with the condo hotel type concept. It's not condo hotel, but they're saying there's only one management company. There is no, you can't do short-term rentals by yourself. So therefore, you don't really own it. Unless, of course, you're not in the short-term rental program at all and you want to live there, then you somewhat own it. But you have HOA fees and property tax because it was $170 or less. You have no property taxes in DR for properties. You only pay property tax on the difference between 170 and what the value of your property is or what you purchased it for. So if you bought a property for $200,000, you're going to pay 1% of $30,000 because that's the difference between 170 and 200. And guess what? That goes up a little bit every year. So eventually it's going to be at 200 G's in the next 5 years or whatever. So it's going to keep going up. And so that means your taxes are going to be less, which also means since they're not tax based, you're going to still be light on infrastructure from property taxes. Just letting you guys know, all right? Okay, let's go. Ownership, ladies and gentlemen. Concentrate. You have to build your own passive income empire or you will struggle at retirement. Exactly, post-retirement travel. Very well said. That's exactly what's going to happen. You should be trading while you're live. I caught one drop and now I'm in for the second drop. Oh, man. Hey, I did it the other week. When was that? Last week, right? We were talking and I was like, hold on. And I accidentally forgot about it because all I was going to do was exit out of it in the first like 3-4 minutes as it went up, a little bit. So I was like, not really trading. Then I left it on and it was funny. It went up exactly as we expected it to. And I still was able to get in on the trade and profit even double what I was while we're playing around on the live stream. And he's exactly right. He's exactly right about that. I might start doing that. It's just, I should put it up on the screen. You have to build your own passive income empire. Exactly. There's no way around it. Very well said. Damn, Eric, are you kidding me? So if you don't pay, they will start charging you interest. Exactly. What percent? Okay. Here, I'll show you right now. Look, I always have the truth. I stopped paying. So they start counting and it's 5%, but I'm going to give them credit. The 5% is I haven't paid in over 2 years. So it's $1,100. That's it. But it's not even, so if you buy the property, they're going to waive it. anyhow. It's only if you want a refund. Just so you know. Here, let me because I had a member of the channel. They said they were gonna buy, and there's a worse thing too. They said that I only gave them a certain amount of money. I won't get into them. It's the down payment and a payment or something. That's what they said I paid. And I was like, hold on, what are you talking about? I actually paid at the office. So I have hard copy receipts, except I'm over here in Vegas right now. So I was like, okay, let me see. I'll show you exactly because I had to send it over to him. I showed him. And then when I found out, I was like, what is this? I said, you need to talk to Juan Andreas. I said, that's BS because I didn't know how much it was going to be until they sent it over. I thought I was going to have late fees of like 5, 10 G's or something. And so I was like, nah, you got to talk to Juan Andreas and get it waived. Then they're like, oh, no, it's only if you want a refund, you're going to have to pay the late fees. That's why we're tracking it. If you buy when it's delivered and you go through with the purchase, it's going to get waived. I was like, okay, I like that. I can live with that. Let me see if I got it. Here we go. Right here. Full transparency. Check it out. That's it. This is what they're charged right here. So it's 1100 total up top. Right now. This is after 2 years. I can live with that, but again, they're not going to charge this if I decide to buy it. Now, here's where the very interesting thing comes. This is real estate in DR, offshore, that meets part of it. I always knew there was a penalty, but never heard of this interest charging. You get peanuts. Speaking of that, you know what's even worse? The worst part was you're getting charged interest while they're late. See, that was my thing. That's what I sent them back. I was like, how are you charging anybody interest when you didn't deliver on time? It should all be waived anyhow. But when they said if you buy, it's waived, then I was like, well, I can't really bitch too much. If you want a refund and they're going to do it, but if you're not going to say I'm taking the property from you, then I'm like, okay, then all right. Get down to where it's built and it can be delivered. That's like 2 years from now. We can make a lot of money with the money we have without that and keep it in the stock market. That you'll make all the money from the stock market in the next year. This is crazy. So that's why this is funny. Ownership, ladies and gentlemen. So anyhow, so that was one of the things. And so now the sticking point is they're still saying delivery December 2026. That's right, this year, in 7 months. They're on floor 7 with just cement in 2 towers of the prime towers, and they're on floor 3 or 4 on prime towers 1 and 2. I'm like, these are 15 stories high with the 16. Wait, they changed it. 15 floors high with a roof. So that's 16 stories high. I forgot it used to be 2 levels for the penthouse, but now it's 1, I think. Oh no, it's still You guys knew I was going to go mute. At least it was 3 minutes ago, post retirement travel. Thank you. But yeah, man, uh, it's pretty bad. Yeah, if you try to get a refund with Larimar, that's what it is, man. It's bad. They're going to charge the 1100 that I showed you, take it away, and the worst part is they don't even have some payments I made because I paid in person. I didn't wire it. So now keep in mind these payments were two and a almost, geez, 2 years ago and 3 or 4 months. And those were in person, and all they gives you is a piece of paper. So if I don't have those pieces of papers, which I'm pretty sure I do, then they would only give me back a smaller sum by $6,000 or $7,000. So, and that's why we couldn't make a deal because I told the guy that was going to possibly buy it. I said, hey man, I actually made more than that, but actually, I still want like $10,000 more because they're selling. Well, they're selling in Tower 3 and 4, which has no real value because we don't know what would happen, what the real value is. But the property, the pre-construction guys, Larimar, are selling 2 bedrooms in Tower 3 and 4, 176,000. Those are reasonable because other places a 2 bedroom is selling for way more than that. But there's new projects that are coming out, and funny thing, the pricing is almost like 2024. 2 bedrooms, 160, 1 bedrooms, 99, 105. Just saying. Didn't somebody tell you this was going to happen? I'm pretty sure somebody said this was going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't rocket science. You overbuild. By the way, even though they have these enormous, March was an enormous month for the tourists in DR. Got to give them credit. Got to give them credit, ladies and gentlemen. Sweet. Got to give them credit. Judah Barak is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Very happy to see you in the house once again. LOL. 1 minute ago. Here's what's going to happen around November timeframe. You will get a letter extending the delivery date due to unforeseen circumstances, or they may claim too much rain during the upcoming summer. Exactly. Oh, I know exactly what's going to happen. But I'm not mad. I told you guys, run again. You got to own your investments as well. That's part of ownership. I told you, we don't want delivery of anything in Dominican Republic in the next 2 years. You hope that delivery is after 2028. Why? Because there's going to be fallout. Because the deliveries that are happening right now, last year and every year that goes now, people are going to find out that the purchase price, because they bought it in 2022, 2023, which was a good price. There's some people that bought in the wrong locations and they're going to think they can Airbnb and make money, and they're going to find out no, they paid 120,000 for a 1 bedroom, and they're going to find out that they cannot rent for 1,000 a week, which is what's happening right now in Los Corrales, El Cordecito. People were buying in 2023, at the end of 2023, 2024. People were buying 1 bedroom condos that only had a pool in Los Corrales for 120,000. And then it went up to 150, 170. So there's people right now who just went through this cycle of high season, and you can look, well, you can't, well, you can go to Air ROI, but you can go look and you will see how many of those 1 bedrooms in Los Corrales, El Cordecito were getting the 0.1%, 170 times 7. That's what, $1,100 for the week? We went and looked, ladies and gentlemen, on the live stream. So therefore, that investment, when you saw $700 for the week for a 1 bedroom, woo, woohoo, man, That's not a good number. And you have a declining occupancy rate. It's not 70% anymore for a studio unit. It's not 68% for a one bedroom. It lost like 4 or 5 points. They're in the mid 60s to low 60s now for occupancy rates in Los Corrales, El Cordecito. 170 means if you can't get like $1,200 for your week and you're charging 700 like the other 400 people, that's a problem. And that price now is overpriced. So now there's going to be people selling. And you should be there to pick up the pieces, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm saying. Just pick up the pieces. Who signed those payment receipts? Oh yeah, the payment receipts is you just go into their office and they have a people that collect the money, and it's just staff. It's just people. It's not like a CEO or VP or anybody in upper management. It's just their workforce. That's who it's whoever's, and some of them people probably don't work there even right now. But it don't matter. There's a hard copy because in DR when you do things, you actually have to stamp it with your corporation stamp. That's treated just like we're in 1930s. You do a stamp and then they sign it. And vice versa. If I give them something, I have to stamp it and sign it. Right? When I did SR my SSN Lifestyle Biz, that's what we have to do every transaction. Stamp, sign. So I have the stamp, sign. I'm pretty sure. I know I do. I always put it in a folder. So I'm not worried about the money. I'm more intrigued about I can just sit here and figure out what I want to do later. That's what I'm more intrigued about. And they will allow a person to take over payments. But here's what comes up. They tell the person who's taking over payments, delivery is going to be December 2026. So therefore, we're going to change your contract. So now the delivery is 2026. And now that's only what, 5, 4, 7 months away? Yes, because May's coming. 7 months away. So now they're telling somebody, oh, well, you owe like 25,000, 20,000, and you got 7 months. So your payments are going to be $3,500, $3,800, knowing full well it's not going to be done. But they're making people stick to that timeline so they can collect all this money. So I'm sitting there like, hey, me and him can't make an agreement. I'm like, I'm okay. We'll just sit here until 2028. Wake me. Because I know you can't do anything. And by the way, whenever you buy real estate, ladies and gentlemen, this goes across the board. You own assets. Real estate is an asset if you're going to use it as commercial property. When you buy acres, you buy the whole plot. If you have a developer come and he says, hey, Eric, you own 20 acres. I want to buy 5 acres from you. I now have to go down and subdivide it. Subdividing means I'm taking away the 5 acres and now we have 2 lots. We're going to have a 15 acre and a 5 acre. How long does that take in DR? 6 months to a year. But now let's just say the guy that has the 5 acres goes, Eric, I'm building some condos on the 5 acres. And I can't pay you the full amount. So will you sign a contract with me and I can make monthly payments? So that guy that got the 5 acres doesn't even have title officially. He has a contract with me that allows him to own the property, show that he's buying it, so therefore he can build something on the property. But mind you, the title is still in my name. He's making payments to me. He's building the condo. Guess what happens? Let's just say 2 years from now, the condo project is built. He's finished paying me off. Guess what? Not only do I have to transfer title of the property to him, we got to subdivide it still. Officially now. Because he was paying me a payment plan. So those 2 years that went by, I still own the property. He fulfilled his thing under contract. I'm going to sign over the 5 acres to him. But guess what? That title to sign over the 5 acres, how long is that going to take? In the DR, ladies and gentlemen, as long as I have it free and clear, a year. No problem. But that's a year. So now 2 years to build, 3 years, another year goes by. That's 3. Guess what else happens? Now, after he gets the title for that 5 acres, he has to go to their government and say, oh man, I built 100 condos over here. I need you to give me 100 titles. Because he now has to subdivide each unit into its separate parcel number. In a country that takes a year to 2 years to transfer titles, what do you think's going to happen? Another 1 to 2 years before you can get titles. So this thing about they're going to have December 2027, highly unlikely. No, highly. It's not going to happen in 2028 either. Let's just, because you in DR, just like in America, you have to finish the buildings before you can subdivide it. The units have to be complete before they're going to stamp there's a title for the property. So you do understand they are not doing this a week later, right? They're going to have people come out there and make sure it's legitimately built. You actually have services. People can actually live here. And in DR, they're not doing stuff in 3 months. Let's get real. 5 months. That's not happening. And all of them have to have their own title. All the units in the building. And you think in DR they're going to do that in 4 months or something? No. So therefore, the fact that it's not finished now, no, it doesn't even matter if you're in the United States or even if you're in the US, you can't get it done in like 6 months. 2 separate, it's not going to happen. So therefore, that's why it's a travesty they're doing that. And that blocks the people taking over payments. And that's why they should have been saying June 2027. Sorry, that's next year. April 2028. That's what they should have been saying. That's what they should have been saying. And if they deliver before then, the contract should say if we deliver before then all of it is due. But the contract should have been under another almost 20 months. So anyhow, I'm just giving you guys some info because we want ownership, ladies and gentlemen. Ownership we have. So anyhow, let's get back to the basics. We're going to stay tuned. We're going to have SSN Lifestyle back. A new website has to come out. We're going to have SSN Lifestyle membership back. Again, a couple of people actually signed up. They got a great deal because it was a couple $1,000s. Obviously, it's going to be a lot higher. And there's only going to be, I think there was only 9. There's only 9. There's only 9 people that can get in on the membership. It's going to be higher, and it's going to be for the 2-bedroom. And I'm probably going to keep the Larimar thing. I'm not going to live there, obviously, but it's ocean view on the 11th floor. Just saying. It doesn't. I don't have any reason to actually get rid of it now since there's no penalty really, other than the late fees. But if I keep it, then it'll be waived as long as I pay for delivery. So I have it in writing, so it's all good. So now I'm going to implement that, and you guys, you might want to get in on this because I am going to do this. Ownership. All I'm going to say is one word that everybody knows. App Store. And second word, Netflix, Peacock. What else do you have on these apps? All kind of names, right? Tubi, Philo, Indie apps, right? HBO Max apps. Apps own content. Advertisers pay the app. The app is in the Apple Store, Google Play Store. People pay memberships for the app. You getting where I'm going? We'll be talking on Friday because, again, that is going to be something that you guys can get involved with. And yes, I'll just say it outright. It's going down. It actually all depends. It depends on the talk on Friday. It's going down, everybody. It's going down. Happy to hear that, Eric. Own it and let it rip. You can use your marketing skills and channel to take it to the next level. Thank you so much, Post-Retirement Travel. That's what we're going to do, man. That's what we're going to do. Because the SSN lifestyle SRL was designed for real estate investing, management. It did a whole bunch of things that allows me to do this. So we're already set to go. Legally, I can do all this. It's just contracts, obviously, further contracts. But it doesn't even. I don't need permission. Is what I'm saying. So I'm just going to do it. And I'm also going to do ownership for some app situation. All right. And so it's going to be on people's TVs. Yeah. I forgot that part, right? The real deal stuff, right? Not just on the Apple and Google Play Store. It's going to be on your TV where you get an app. So I'll just say it now. If everything works out on Friday, which I think it will, everything works out on Friday, it's going to be doing this. It's the SSN Nation on your TV, Samsung's, your TV, worldwide, ladies and gentlemen. Apps can be watched anywhere in the world. And that means I own all the content. This content we're doing right now, I could be running it. I own it. And it's part of the platform. So now I'm going to get paid directly, bypass Google and all these guys. And they can't shut me down. They can't mess with my channel. You know how we used to talk about passive income with stock trading with Yield Max ETF, and all of a sudden we have bandwidth issues. Coincidence? No. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. We got some other things that we're dealing with, right? I left something out, I'm sure, because if you're gonna ownership, stocks are ownership, so you got to have Robinhood, Webull, whoever, Moo. So I got to put those links in the chat room. If you guys still haven't gotten your free shares of stock from these guys, go do it. If you like set it and forget it, then just do Wealthfront. As long as you put in less than $4,999, they manage it for free. So even if you put in 3,000, 2,000, they'll manage it. As soon as you get to 4,999, then they start charging you their 0.95 expense. But nonetheless, yeah, we're going next level, man. I'm coming out of retirement, it looks like. And that means my retirement that I was going to do means I got to be part of my own content channels, right? So again, everything looks like it could be a go. And I'm just going to tell you something else. That's pretty funny. You know how when you sell products, like right now, when I say, hey, the link's in the chat room, the link is down below in the description box, right? What's very interesting about all that is that what if you didn't have to do that? A lot of people, like 60-70% of people, watch on mobile phones. There is something out there, the NAB show, we found it. There is something out there Right now, if something came up, you could tap on the screen, which is similar to what YouTube has started, where there's an image on the screen and you tap it and it takes you to go buy whatever that image is. It's out there already, right? But how many people have seen that on their TV shows? I never have. But it's out there obviously because it's for sale. Can you believe that there's a company out here that charges networks, depending on their bandwidth, depending on how much but they got to host it and all this, $10,000 per month minimum, $120,000 a year, right? So the entry level is low. So then, if you're like, let's say everybody knows Netflix, they're charging them millions of dollars per month for this feature, right? Because they got to host it too, right? So now I was thinking, I'm sitting there, look, I'm talking to the guy. I'm like, man, what's your ranking right now? He goes, I'm VP. I'm like, who's this other dude? He's like, I'm VP. Where's the owner, man? I want to get paid because I got an idea. You guys, why are you messing around with this little kibbles and bits and sitting around here trying to charge people 120,000 a year and up when that's a service that anybody could use just like me? I could be using this right now if you allowed me. So then I'm not going to tell you the conversation much further than that. So then I was like, in my brain, I'm like, okay, they're going to do something with the feature on your platform. Let's say this is the channel, right? Stop Struggling Now. And we are doing the live stream and the thing pops on the screen where you can tap the screen to order while I'm talking, right? Which is cool. But you're going to charge me 120,000 minimum because I'm a small guy. But if I ended up being like Netflix and those guys, it could be $2, $3, $5 million a month is what they would charge. In my brain, I'm thinking, this is only software. What are they? They're taking advantage of people saying they got to host it. But I'm like, this is software in my brain. So finally I said, hey, man, so if I had my own channel, how much would it cost? He said something crazy. $7 per hour, and we can do an API. I was like, oh, my eyes lit up like, it's over. I should have never been here. Should have never let me in the door. This is over. So then I went to go see another company, and I said, hey, man, I need my own network. They're like, what are you saying? I said, I need to have an app on TV, on everybody's TV. He's like, why? I said, because I got products to sell. I mean, I got stuff to do. I can get other people to be on this thing. I need the channels. They're like, oh, check this out. And they start doing touchscreen stuff. And I'm like, right, that looks like Netflix. That's what I'm talking about. And I said, I got to give credit where credit is due. I was talking to the other guy that told me about this other stuff. Rosita, I see you. Welcome to the channel. He said, I said, hey, man, since you're VP, I mean, how cool are you really going to be? I said, tell me who I can use in here. And he goes, well, these guys, because he told me the API thing. And I said, who can I use then in here that's reasonable? He goes, well, there's two people in here that's the best. You go see this guy, they're going to charge you an arm and a leg. You go see the other guy, they're more reasonable. Who's better? They're both about the same. And we do API and business with them. And that's where he said $7 an hour. I was like, wait, a person just buys one item, you have $7 profit. He goes, exactly. I said, okay. I said, you guys aren't going to owe me any money. You're good. I said, I'm just going to make the money. Thank you. I walk off. I go over there, tell the guys, this guy told me to come over. He said, you do the API? They go, yeah, we do. so I can get my shopping thing on everybody's stuff. Anybody that has merch, everything that you want to do. So you now know. I'm pretty sure I can do this. And if I can, it's game on. And you guys, I'm going to have, if you guys want to put a little money in towards this, it's fine. But obviously, I'm going to have the main guys on that's actually running the thing. They'll come on and talk. And then you guys are going to be like, oh no, this is sick. So anyhow, I have visions. This is like visions of grandeur. And now that gives me two things that I have that I got to deal with, that I've come up with recently, that I'm going to own some other things that has to do with live music as well. And I'm going to own royalties rights. I'm going to own publishing partially and other things that generate passive income that the big boys usually kick you out of because you can't get in. They always, you're trying to get in, then you have to give something up. Ownership, ladies and gentlemen, so you don't have to compromise. And I'm going about to do that. I don't have to worry about being demonetized either. And nobody else does either. Oh my goodness. All right, it's going to be off the charts. So anybody who's out here that's an influencer, anybody that does content and you want to be part of the channel, don't have a name yet, but there will be a channel. I'm pretty sure it's going to go down. It all depends on if they started changing up something than what they told us in person, because they said, oh, I got to talk to you on Friday. But I'm like, if the number stays the same, it's going down. And you want to know what else? How easy this is? Everything is drop and play to set up. One person can actually do this. This is sick. It's so sick. The software already exists. They already been doing it like 7 years. It's just that it's always been out of reach for most people. Because people can't, I mean, when you start talking about 100,000, 150,000, most people are like, okay, I can't do that. Right? Well, these guys are talking the right number. And I'm like, don't even try to tell me I can have my own platform and an app on people's TVs. Amazon, Samsung, Vizio, trying to think of the other TVs. Samsung, Amazon, Vizio, Hisense, and many other platforms with the app on there with your content, which now means you control your own narratives. Can't be shut down, can't be blocked. I love it. All right, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you on Friday night for the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night live stream. And I'll either have a big ass smile on my face or I'll have a big ass frown on my face on Friday. So we'll see how this all works out. But it's going to work out, I'm pretty sure. There's nothing that can stop me as far as I know. Whether somebody wants to join me or not, it's going down. It doesn't really matter. It's going down. I'm making a commitment. I'm going to pay the money. Because this is totally cool. Totally cool. Oh, by the way, it'll be in the Google App Store and it'll be in the Apple Play Store as well. So, yeah, you'll be watching your Samsung TV. It'll be like, hey, what's that? Isn't that app Eric told me about like 5 months ago? Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's going down. They should never let me play in this playground. And did I not tell you guys, if you're a person of color, I've always said this. The first day of the show, Saturday was the first day where you could have actually mingled with people and stuff. So Sunday is the first official exhibitor shows and meetings and all this. I told you guys at that time, I said, hey, when I walk in these high-end rooms and I walk in and oh, you guys saw me, I'm wearing this right here, this hat. All the people are looking at me like, who's this dude? Nobody else is wearing their own branded hats in this joint. Everybody else is just, Richie Rich and all that. I'm like, no, 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 hold on. They're looking at me like, that says SS Nation up there. What the hell's going on? Who is that guy? And so I'm walking around, and I told you guys before, if I see 90% pale faces, 95% of pale faces, and I find out that this stuff is 100,000, 200,000, $1 million, 500,000 barriers to entry, and I see a whole bunch, 97, 98% is white dudes, I know one thing and one thing only. This is where the money is. I told you guys this before. So I was like, I just went there only because I'm looking for something else. I wasn't looking for anything really. I was just trying to get some information on artificial intelligence because I'm behind the curve right now, because I actually went to sleep. Because normally I used to be the computer geek and I'd be ahead of everybody. Now I'm behind because I've avoided it because I was going into retirement mode because I wasn't really excited about anything. Now I got excited when I'm sitting there and I'm like, there's no other black people in this whole room right now. We're talking about a convention center in Las Vegas. Not one black person. Every booth, 10 white guys or girls. Every display, 10 white guys, girls. I'm sitting there like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think I need to go talk to some people. Because don't forget, I got this music thing on the back burner. Just saying, I have a way to put something out now. I'm just not going to know if I'm going to have the viewership, but I can actually put it out on my own stuff. So now it kind of gets me a little closer to this other thing that I want to take over. This other thing I can't take over, obviously, it already exists, but I want to be a part of it. Like I said, when I get 99.5% of white dudes in the room and they're talking about $1 million equipment, $70,000, $80,000 hardware and software, and we'll come put it in, we'll teach your team how to do it, and we're off. I'm like, oh, this is typical. That's a high barrier to entry. So they're going to let me in the game. It's game time. Oh, I'm going to pay, of course. I mean, I'll pay, but I'm going to be in the game too. I'm going to be like, I'm joining the club. That's where the money is, you guys. Let's get real. Ownership. So that means I'm going to own the content of everything on the app, on the channel. So that Netflix, that HBO Max, that whatever, NBC, Universal, they own all the content. That's why they came out with the apps, right? Streaming services is a godsend for them. They can play stuff that's 1930s. They can license it out. The content is theirs. They get to license it out. And so therefore, other channels can use it for limited. Sometimes it's going to be limited time and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it'll be 1 year, sometimes it'll be 2 years. I mean, the game is sweet, but the thing is, I'm going to be in the game. That's right. And they're not going to block me. So I can buy my way in. So that's what I'm going to do. All right. Just so you guys know, I can buy my way in. And since there's competition, nobody can stop me because I can just go to somebody else that can do the same thing. That's the best of it all. It's not like they can block me. So as long as they do right, as long as we got good vibes, I got to admit, we got good vibes. So hopefully it does right. But ownership is the key, and I'm going to give you guys a piece of some of the pie or an opportunity because, again, everything's a risk and a factor because the one thing is we're going to have to deal with content. We're going to need a lot of it quick. At least that's my thought process. And I'm going to be 3 months, 4 months, we should have something happening. I've already hit up some of my friends that produce stuff. And so there might be independent stuff that nobody else is going to have for a few months, early stuff. So that'll give it a little edge. That'd be cool. Some of these guys have got Emmy Awards. So it's going to be very, very interesting if I can pull this off. and talk to these guys and get them on board with something. They can make me some shorts. I don't really care. 30 minutes. I don't care. Something that nobody else has. Give me first 3 months. You guys can sell it to whoever you want, but give me 3 months. I'm the small guy. If they'll do it, we're good. I'm going to try. All right, ladies and gentlemen, ownership is sick. It's sweet. Let's go. You guys get your ownership, whatever it is. Own your materials if you can. Think about this. You know, when a lot of new products come out in our stores, and the people that work for the companies actually create the technology and the product. They get a salary. Nice. Let's say $200,000 a year. But because they work for the company, guess who has ownership rights? The company. The company then gets to sell it and market it. Think of Hasbro, right? Toy company. Think of comic books, superheroes, which we now call Marvel, DC, and all that. That's content. They were almost dead in the water, but all of a sudden they can make movies, now have more content. Now they can license out the figures, the figurines, the likeness. Now the watches, now the whatever, the hats and whatever that says Marvel on them, right? They can get licensing money. They can make movies, then license the movies. I mean, Marvel was going bankrupt in the 90s. And guess they got a Blade is a Marvel product. Wesley Snipes' hit Blade movie saved Marvel. How crazy is that? And now, because they had all that previous comic book content, they get to bring that to screen life so they always can create movies. And now, remember, the movies are made for X amount of dollars, so people get paid up front. So whether it's a flop or not, which I don't know if there's really a flop. I mean, if you had something made for 120 million and it goes worldwide and makes 700 million, people say, oh, that's a flop. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. The actors and everybody involved that produced it got paid. The movie theaters pay the movie studio in advance to have it in their theater. So I'm like, what do you, everybody got paid that's involved who created this. The people risking are the people that pay to have it in their studio. So when they give the projections for the movies, it's based on all the theaters that have already put in money to have it at their theater, prepay, and to get it to their theater. So that's how they know the projections already. So in case people don't know, that's how they know. Because they're like, okay, we got it in 4,000 theaters. The 4,000 theaters gave us, whatever, $50,000 each. So we know whatever that number comes out to be, that's the projected, but we think more people would come. So then they start going, well, it'll probably be 100 million. So that's how they figure it out. So that's how they know. It's not rocket science. That's how, once you understand how the industry works, then you're like, oh, that's how they know already, because they sold. They already know that people already put money in to have it in their area. That's why some movie theaters doesn't have the movie, because they didn't want to pay. Because when it first comes out, it costs way more. You might as well just wait. Well, not might, but you if you wait like 5 weeks, 6 weeks, it's way less. But then you don't have that rush of audience the first 2 to 3, 4 weeks. So you miss out on potential money. Because the way it costs at the theaters these days is outrageous. And that's why the cost goes up, by the way. Okay, for you, those little goodies. So, just saying. All right, we're going to wrap this up. It's 1 hour and 55 minutes. I want to thank everybody for being here. Remember ownership, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Key from now on. You can't do what I've been doing and every other influencer or person on YouTube or any social media platform. We're giving all of our content away with receiving kibbles and bits. Not saying that it isn't good, because you can actually turn it into great things monetarily, but you're still at the whim of, if they want to shut you down, they can shut you down. You're still at the whim of, you're creating something for them to benefit from. Now you have to start thinking about, if I'm creating something I can benefit myself maybe better and other people, and you own it outright. I don't own YouTube. I don't own Twitch. I don't own Facebook. I don't own Instagram. The only way I can do that is if I buy the Magnificent Seven on the stock market. I can own shares of their stock. I might even get special dividends every now and then. But that's the extent of the ownership. So let's go, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you on Friday night at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Financial Friday Night live stream, the one that is Story Night. And I'm very happy to hear that somebody saw the trailer. And before we go, there's one last thing that I need to do. Hold on. Because I didn't do a recall tonight. Where's the recall at? There we go. Cantaloupes recalled, ladies and gentlemen. Jeez, cantaloupes are good for you. Good God, that's not good. Come on now. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thousands of cantaloupes, at least it wasn't millions, recalled over salmonella concerns earlier this year. This is April 21st. ACO Farms in Florida removed 8,302 cartons of whole fresh cantaloupes that were shipped to Pennsylvania, Florida, California, and New York. A Florida distributor says ladies and gentlemen, they quietly said, no problem. Nobody got hurt. I'm like, I don't trust you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to wrap it up. I love you guys very much. Thank you so much for being here in the house tonight. And hopefully I'll see you on Friday night. And you'll find out about what's going to go down with this app, with our own network. We'll see what happens. And just remember, please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, but just make sure you stay safe, accumulate more assets, and do the SSN Nation thing. Credit score 775. Bank account, bank account outside the United States. And real estate or business outside of the United States jurisdiction. And with all that said, everybody's out here all mad, upset. People are going through stress. And just remember, when somebody goes through stress, they're unpredictable. So no matter what happens, just keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.